Nigel tells the agents to leave because it's dangerous, but they keep advancing until they find a door with a special lock. They open it easily and enter an office where they disable another lock to access the server. Although he still keeps fighting, the soldiers soon surround him and shoot him down. Before the download can finish, the soldiers shoot the other agent too, and Liam sarcastically apologizes to Nigel before disconnecting to lose it. In New York, the car still follows him and blocks the street. Thus Jack enters a restaurant and sneaks through the kitchen to escape through the back door. However, the car is waiting, but Jack still manages to turn the wheel and avoid the other vessel at the last second. The boat ends up crashing into the pier's railing, causing both men to fall. Jack takes the chance to tackle the enemy and punches him a few times before putting his tie around the guy's neck to interrogate him. Suddenly the mercenary dies from a shot to the head by Liam, who is hiding in a building nearby. As Mike finally reaches Jack, so does Emma, who captures them both. At that moment the police reach the bridge, but Emma makes Mike take them away on the boat. In the morning James received a mysterious package with a file named Starling. Then he gets a call from Liam, who isn't supposed to have his office number. Liam wants what Nigel gave Jack and tells James to retrieve it or Jack will have to die. At a safe house, had nothing to Emma give. Starts talking about Jack James. She reveals she's an agent of the British Secret Service and announces that Jack now works for her. After Jack calls James with an update, Emma takes him and Mike to England, where they're picked up by her boss Andrew. They split into different cars for privacy and Andrew scolds Emma for going to Dubai without his authorization. Emma explains she was worried about Nigel, who was an agent at her agency too. Andrew points out that they now have an international incident on their hands, but Emma concludes they already have the killer or they would have arrested her. Soon James also arrives at the Secret Service headquarters. He apologizes to Jack, who is angry about all the things his friend has been hiding from him. James shows him the Starling folder he received in the mail, which contains the pictures of the two agents that were killed in Nigel's failed mission. Jack is horrified because he recognizes one of them from his days in the CIA, and James explains that the other guy is from the British Secret Service. Break into the safe house. They find a disturbing amount of weapons and guns and the schematics of Tower Bridge. Mike's prisoner is interrogated, but he insists he's just a courier who only got paid to accept a package. Jack and Emma call their bosses with an update and they both believe this was too easy. As they discuss the details, Jack realizes this was only a distraction to keep the team away from James, leaving him vulnerable. At that moment Elizabeth gets in their car, which instantly explodes and knocks James down. Jack loses communication with him, so he, Mike, and Emma rush back to the van and head to avoid them. At the same time, Jack's van also enters a tunnel, but he's driving against traffic and has to dodge several vehicles to come out. Nearby, James manages to avoid the cops and sees Liam, who takes a very narrow road. People keep jumping out of their way and many cars have to be dodged as the chase continues. When they reach the main avenue, Liam ends up crashing into a civilian car, so he comes out and walks away calmly. James also leaves his car and shoots up in the air, causing people to panic. Liam only looks at him with amusement before his men arrive and open fire, giving him time to escape. James hides behind a car and occasionally shoots back, but he quickly runs out of bullets. Thankfully the van arrives and the trio shoots down all of Liam's men in the 80s, but Starling eliminated them in the mid-2000s. It seems Liam is gathering people from all the terrorist groups that Starling shut down to prove that these people can still cause danger if they aren't killed. James reveals that he sent Nigel to Dubai to infiltrate Liam's operation and gather enough intel for the CIA to take him down. Jack realizes that Liam left the scene without killing James because Elizabeth's unplanned death gave him an opportunity. Now that James is the CIA director, he may approve of letting Liam go to cover his own involvement in Starling. James denies it, saying he wants to kill Liam. A colonel interrupts them because a delivery guy has arrived with a food order for James, which means Liam knows where they are. A soldier confirms the bag is safe, so he brings it inside, and James notices a message that says, "You're not America's first great traitor." This makes him realize where Liam is hiding. Moments later James finds Liam outside the National Gallery while his team hides among the tourists. Liam keeps taunting James, who gets rather angry and almost attacks. The team moves to help him, but Liam knows they're there and tells them to freeze. They obey because they notice a red dot on James' clothes, indicating there's a sniper in the area. Liam wants James to let him keep operating with his new Starling and demands what Nigel stole. James doesn't know what he's talking about, so Jack approaches them and says he left Nigel's mysterious object in Dubai. Liam tells him to retrieve it and promises to contact them later. When the group returns to the bunker, Jack tells them that he has nothing and only lied to buy some time. He gives Emma the cigarette pack and says he's already checked it, but found nothing. He theorizes that since James thought Nigel called him to give him something, Liam probably thought the same, so he gave Jack a random object to trick Liam since he was watching them. Nigel probably didn't trust the agencies and must have left the real thing somewhere else. That night, Emma takes Jack to a pub and talks to the owner to get the keys to Nigel's apartment, revealing that she's Nigel's daughter. They search the place and find a very old computer, which Nigel preferred because it couldn't be hacked. Emma can't find anything interesting, but Jack takes over and uses his analytical skills to discover that Nigel didn't download anything. He was monitoring transmissions live. He calls CIA technician Patrick and asks him to trace the origin point of the broadcast. While Emma looks around, She finds a Halloween picture of Nigel and herself dressed as Madonna and makes a joke. This makes Jack remember that Liam called Emma Blonde Ambition, which was the name of a Madonna tour. This means Liam has been to this apartment. The only person who knew about this place besides Emma is Andrew, so he's been the mole in the agency all along. Emma calls Andrew and tells him they've searched the apartment but found nothing. At the same time, Jack calls James and tells him that the Dubai mission had been about transmitting all the Starling information to the CIA, gives them a ride. But Liam interrupts. Jack calls Patrick, who tells him that the transmission comes from a skyscraper known as the Dubai Marina. The soldier explains that Dubai doesn't have much crime because it has precise satellite surveillance watching the city 24/7, and this satellite is exactly what Liam is using to track them now. At the Dubai Marina, the men watching the server get a warning call from Liam. Soon Emma, Jack, and Mike enter the building while Patrick guides them through an earpiece. On the upper floor, Jack and Emma find Liam's men and a gunfight ensues. After stray bullets destroy several pieces of furniture, the duo manages to kill all their enemies. A body falls on the glass floor, causing it to shatter. Emma tries to run but ends up falling through the resulting hole. Thankfully, Jack grabs her hand just in time and brings her back inside. Meanwhile, Mike has entered a different room that also has mercenaries. He acts fast and kills them all in seconds. When a hidden man is about to attack his friends, Mike shoots him from behind. At that moment, Liam and his team also arrive in the building. The trio keeps moving upstairs, killing any guard they encounter along the way. Mike splits from the group again to keep an eye outside while Jack and Emma keep advancing, using a fire extinguisher to create a fog that allows them to take the remaining guards by surprise. When they find Emma manages to shoot him again, so the guy drops her. As Patrick announces that all the information has been downloaded, Mike moves the crane and throws a box at the window, knocking down the mercenary in the process. Emma takes the chance to shoot the guy in the head. Afterward, Jack and Emma keep firing at Liam, which allows a mercenary to sneak behind them and shoot Emma. Jack quickly kills the man before hiding a bleeding Emma behind a box. Then Jack comes out and gives Liam his tablet, pretending it has all the information. Suddenly a helicopter appears at the window, so Jack drops to the ground before James' men open fire, hitting Liam with several bullets. Unfortunately, he is still alive, so Jack shoots him in the head. In the morning, Andrew gets arrested. Emma has survived the fight and promises Jack to work together again in the future.